All right, welcome in everybody. Hope y'all are doing okay. Meteorologist Shane Smith here. It is Thursday, June 25th, 2026. Hope everybody's doing well. Let us know where you're joining from on the comments section. We are live tonight on YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok, talking about some heavy rain threats for the weekend. Figured we'd do this live stream and answer your questions. So let me know what y'all would like to know. Also, if you see me looking in different directions, I'm now working on a 3 monitor setup on my laptop. May have to rearrange some stuff to make it look a little bit more natural, but we'll work the bugs out. Uh, Let us know where you're watching from. Austin Kendrick from Pikeville asking, will it rain this weekend? Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. I think we're going to see quite a bit of rain up in Pikeville this weekend. You can see over in that graphic on the left, next 5 day rain forecast. Pikeville may pick up 1 to 2 inches of rain easy, and that's kind of widespread rain. We may have isolated higher amounts. Um, Got an excessive rain outlook for most of the state tomorrow, a 15% chance of flash flooding, 1 to 3 inches of widespread rain with some isolated pockets going even higher. May help with the drought conditions, but could cause some high water issues. So let us know where you're joining from. Hit that share button, hit that like button. It helps out a lot. And if you have questions, I will be happy to answer those. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Talk about what we are expecting. And we've already got some rain falling across portions of the state tonight, especially down around Bowling Green and Bowling Green and Columbia. You can zoom those in. So you can see we're running into the 70s down there, but there's a pretty good little shower and thunderstorm ripping near Edmonton, although I'm not seeing much in the way of lightning with this. So more of just a shower, but some heavy rain down around Glasgow. Pretty potent thunderstorm complex up in southern Illinois. We did have some severe weather earlier in the day up into portions of Ohio. That has mainly calmed down. There's still a few warnings over on the Kansas-Missouri line. Tina Lamb asking about Bell County. Bell County right now, we can zoom in for you guys. Nice and dry, but there will be some showers and thunderstorms heading your way tomorrow. We're going to map those out here in a second. So let's waste no time and get right to it. See over on TikTok, T Burns saying future radar has that cluster in Bowling Green dissipating before it gets to Laurel County. I do think a lot of that is going to dissipate before it gets out east. We'll take a closer look at that here in a second. I do want to start out tonight, though, with the excessive rain outlook for tomorrow, because this is a wide chunk of the state under a 15% chance. Anytime you get that slight risk of excessive rain, that's a 15% chance of flash flooding. So, roughly 1 in 10 or thereabouts. So that's a pretty good chance. That's enough to start taking notice. Know that we may have some isolated high water problems tomorrow. Kind of hard to believe with several locations still dealing with drought conditions, but it's been a real feast or famine as of late. Some spots have been absolutely inundated with rain. We've had one of the wettest Junes on record in Lexington. I think we're up to like the seventh wettest June, if I remember correctly, and we may put more rain down up there before all is said and done. As far as the Storm Prediction Center's outlook for tomorrow, best chance of severe weather is pretty much going to be west of I-75. We have a marginal risk for most of the western part of the state. Over near Owensboro, though, I am watching at least for the potential of maybe a little bit more in the way of severe weather. We do have a slight risk over for like Owensboro, Morganfield, Tell City, Brandenburg, and Louisville. You guys are right on the line, so we'll go ahead and say that you're close enough to at least consider it. And that's because there is at least enough spin in the atmosphere um, up around up around the Ohio River that we may have a few isolated tornadoes tomorrow in southern Indiana or northwestern Kentucky, right along the Ohio River. Real question: how long am I fishing at Laurel Lake tomorrow before the first raindrops fall? Let's go ahead and we'll swap her over to the future radar. I'll show you that because I think a lot of folks are wanting to kind of know how all this is going to play out. We may get a drop or two overnight. The latest run of the HRRR is trying to hold a little bit of that line around Bowling Green together here in the next couple hours. I don't know if I'm necessarily buying that, but the potential is at least there for a drop or two overnight. It does look like it's dissipating a bit as it pushes east. But we will see more storms fire. This is 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Notice showers and thunderstorms popping up in isolated fashion in central and eastern Kentucky as we go into the 80s. Western Kentucky, better chances of some widespread rain as we go into tomorrow. Then, my doc's playing whack-a-mole with this new monitor setup. I'm going to have to figure out how to lock it on the center. Anyway, going into the afternoon, 5 o'clock, Central Kentucky could have some pretty gnarly thunderstorms. And notice where the storms don't go up, we are talking highs flirting with 90s. So some real deal heat heading our way, friends. This is some pretty good heat. And there's even more coming next week. We'll take a closer look at that here in a minute. You'll notice strong thunderstorms north central Kentucky, western Kentucky tomorrow afternoon and evening. This is 7 p.m. future radar. That's a pretty good squall line heading towards Bowling Green and E-Town tomorrow evening. Moorhead over towards Olive Hill and Ashland, also seeing good thunderstorms tomorrow evening. And then here in London, I think the worst of it holds off probably till about midnight tomorrow. Then some heavy rain overnight. I'm really concerned with the I-64 corridor for the potential of some flash flooding going tomorrow night into Saturday. I think we could get a real serious training set up where the same areas over and over and over again see heavy rain, and that's a good indicator to me that we're going to have the potential for some flash flooding. Didn't get a new radar, Austin. Just got a new monitor set up. So I've got 3 screens now in front of me instead of just the one. So it's making my life a little bit easier, or can at least process more data at one time. There you see that heavy rain continuing on until Saturday evening. Anytime you see those purples on the future radar, that is a really, really good indicator that we are going to see heavy rain. In fact, I'll go ahead and just run that on through. So this run of the HRRR model, the high resolution rapid refresh, goes until 8 o'clock Saturday. Here's how much rain we could see in that time frame across the state. Some locations picking up 3 to 4 inches of rain. Where those browns start showing up, that's some very, very heavy rain. You can actually zoom in on a couple of those areas. Yeah, like 5 inches possibly in Shepherdsville, 4 inches in Nicholasville. Tetersville, it's like 6 inches. That is not out of the realm of possibility, y'all. That is some very, very heavy rain, if that model is correct. So some heavy, heavy rain potential across Kentucky tomorrow through Saturday. So this is going to be a pretty active 48-hour period. It's not going to be non-stop rain, but when it comes, it's going to come down hard. We got a lot of moisture coming in with this system. And then it's not just through Saturday. Here's the future radar from the European model. Temperatures in white is the actual air temperature forecast. The colored temperature is the forecast feels like temperature. And you'll see why I have that on here in a second. So more scattered storm chances Sunday. You'll notice those heat indices pushing triple digits out in western Kentucky. I know that's a little hard to see. I'll have to adjust those colors later. But like 103 in Madisonville on Sunday afternoon for your feels like temperature. That is just obscene. Monday, more scattered storms pop up. Heat indices in the hundreds, triple digits, western Kentucky, 90s, eastern Kentucky. Tuesday, starting off in the 70s, it's just going to be soupy and muggy out there. And by the afternoon, most of the state running triple-digit heat indices. So the heat is building in a big way next week. Specific model I've historically found to be most accurate for Southeast Kentucky. Eric, it depends on the setup and what time frame we're looking at. You'll notice a lot of the time I show the HRRR model, the high resolution rapid refresh, in the short term. That's the one I kind of go to the most for short range forecasting. And then the European kind of mid to long range historically has been my go-to. Do want to point out for our friends in Jefferson County, you are under a flood watch, and there's a few flood watches out near Owensboro and Evansville. I am very, very confident we are going to see those flood watches expanded eastward as we go into tomorrow and into Saturday. Would not be surprised to see more of this map covered in green, looking at the potential of that kind of heavy rain for the weekend. So let's I do want to take a look at the individual severe weather threats for tomorrow. So we'll break it down kind of category by category. First, here's the wind threat for tomorrow. So a 5% risk of damaging winds for all the area highlighted in the brown. So once again, damaging wind considered wind at 50 knots, 58 miles per hour. The hail risk tomorrow pretty much confined up into around the Ohio River. And same with the tornado threat tomorrow. Kind of a 2% in the green and a 5% in the brown. So there is at least a little bit of a tornado threat along the Ohio River tomorrow. So I know we got some folks that watch up around Evansville and Owensboro and over towards Sparta and Vevey and Madison over in southern Indiana. So just a heads up, y'all are under at least a small risk of severe weather tomorrow. Honestly, the heavier rain is my bigger concern for tomorrow. I think that's going to be the big issue for tomorrow. So thankfully, not dealing with anything severe tonight. Just a decent little shower down around Bowling Green, and it is pushing off to the east. Not a ton of lightning, yet there is a lot of lightning out in western Kentucky. Yeah, Austin, I will be posting updates throughout the weekend. So if y'all have questions, be sure to post them up. We'll go through that hour by hour again in just a second. Take a look at the big picture right now. You can see um, been a lot of storm action out into the plains. We had a ton of severe weather along that front earlier. It's since mainly died down. At least the tornado threat has. We're just dealing with mainly severe thunderstorms now out into Oklahoma and Texas. You guys will notice, like, as the forecast above me is scrolling, um, it's going to be hot next week, 90s. So that's really the second part of the story is the just the very intense heat heading our way next week. Actually, I can go ahead and pop up that long range forecast for you. You can see a good chunk of Kentucky is going to be going into the 90s. In western Kentucky, this is more geared towards central and eastern Kentucky. Western Kentucky, you are likely going to be seeing some temperatures pushing into the triple digits. So we're going to wind this back over to the future radar real quick, show you it. So here we go with it. You can see thunderstorms develop tomorrow morning, central Kentucky, western Kentucky. Here's the time for the future radar up there on the top right. So by the afternoon, attention's in northern Kentucky. Could get some pretty rowdy thunderstorms up around Lexington and Frankfort tomorrow around the evening commute rush hour. And then here comes that squall line through western Kentucky into central Kentucky during the evening hours. That's going to be our best chance, I think, of severe weather. Is probably between about 2 o'clock tomorrow and 10 o'clock tomorrow night. And then just the heavy rain continuing along the I-64 corridor. It's going to be pretty intense. Yeah, Austin, if it does get bad, I'm going to try to go live. We'll see. Hopefully it doesn't get too bad, but if it does, I'll try to hop on if I can. All right, folks. So I hope that answers your questions. Do y'all have anything you would like to ask me about as we wrap it up? Once again, best chance of heavy rain going to be tomorrow afternoon and evening through Saturday, especially up along the Ohio River and I-64. Best chance of severe weather tomorrow, northwestern Kentucky along the Ohio River, pretty much between 2 p.m. and about 10 p.m. It really has, Eric. Most of the severe weather this spring and early summer has definitely stayed up around the Ohio River. That's been kind of the battleground between the really hot stuff to the south and the cooler weather to the northwest. And that pattern doesn't really look to break down anytime soon. We are going hotter next week. One thing we got to keep an eye on with next week, and some of the models are not doing a great job showing it, but it is something I'm at least watching, is in that kind of a setup, when we get that kind of heat ridge building down to our south and to our west, what can happen is thunderstorms will ride up from the northwest and then go down to the southeast along that heat ridge. We call it kind of a ring of fire setup. that is something I'm at least watching the potential for next week. Some strong thunderstorms coming in off the northwest. Those have a bad tendency in the middle of summer, and we are starting to get into the middle of summer, of causing straight line winds. Those can sometimes be derecho formers. So that's something we're going to have to watch out for. You could get some really strong winds off those thunderstorms next week if we start cranking it up near the triple digits. And then we get thunderstorms fire into our northwest. It'll just right along that boundary between the hot and the really hot stuff. And we have a bad tendency of ending up on that dividing line sometimes. I can actually kind of show you that potentially. Hang on, let me switch this over to the European, and we'll kind of go out to the big future view. Oh, goes that one there. So you'll notice like the big heat building in the southwest, and those thunderstorms just kind of developing and riding to the southeast. Happening Monday. Tuesday, we kind of end up in that core of that heat, so it all rotates around us. It looks like same kind of picture for Wednesday. Let me switch models real quick because the Euro kind of runs out there. But we can switch it over to the GFS. By the way, if you guys are wondering what weather software I'm using, this is Aguacero Weather. It's a great weather visualization tool. So it looks like towards the middle of the week, we get kind of in the core of that heat dome. So that would be more of something to look out for early next week with those northwest thunderstorms. And it looks like that core of the heat shifts east towards the end of next week. That's when we may start getting some of those storms firing on the backside of that heat ridge. Hey, my pleasure, Dylan. Thanks for stopping in. Oh, why did that shrink? Need to fix that real quick. Gonna get some of the sizing stuff worked out with this new monitor rig. Okay, there we go. All right, so any questions as we wrap it up this evening, y'all? We're coming up on 11 o'clock, and I know a lot of folks are looking to get to bed. I think I'm going to flop OBS over here because that'll be more of a natural look. Moorhead for Saturday, Susie. Scattered thunderstorms off and on through most of the day. I can pop that model back up real quick. Susie McCoy. Hang on one second. Let me pop this up for you. So Saturday morning, 2 a.m., 5 a.m. So rain off and on for a good chunk of the morning. Maybe a little break early afternoon, transition to more scattered thunderstorms through the early evening. Freedom Fest Day up in Moorhead. Yeah, that could be a little bit on the soggy side, so just a heads up about that. Any other questions as we wrap this up? We're coming up on 11 o'clock, and I know a lot of folks just wanting to get to bed. So no severe weather tonight in Kentucky. Just watching the heavy rain threat. overall, a pretty decent night of weather heading our way, but tomorrow and Saturday could get a little bit on the active side. So, also, just a heads up, if you have not yet turned on notifications on my Meteorologist Shane Smith Facebook page, highly encourage that, or follow me on X. I now have real time weather updates going there whenever a weather warning is posted. So, anytime a severe weather alert is posted in central or eastern Kentucky, that now will automatically go out to my Facebook page or my X or Twitter feed, whatever you want to call it. So if you want to get the latest warning information, that is there. I highly encourage you guys to share those as they come out. You will probably want to turn on notifications, because if we start getting a lot, Facebook likes to throttle my reach. They won't show them to as many people. So make sure you're getting those posts by turning on all notifications to my page and sharing those out. That really helps with getting those warnings out to people as severe weather breaks. And I do think we're at least going to have some severe thunderstorm and flash flood warnings over the next 48 hours. All right, friends, with that, I'm going to tell you all good night. Thank you so much for joining us. If you haven't yet, hit that like or subscribe button, the follow button, depending on whatever platform you're on. It really helps out a lot. Anytime you see us live or see our videos, be sure to share those out. That also helps out a ton. We've got some big things planned over the next year, and really want to try to do as much as I can to keep you guys informed about the weather in and around Kentucky. So thank you very much, and I'll have more updates as the weather develops tomorrow. So until then, take care, stay weather aware, and I'll see you.